So today is the full moon in Aquarius. It's going to be kind of a rough full moon, just saying. But I need to go ahead and do this now because I looked at my own chart and I realized that I have a lot of conjunctions right now because I actually am an Aquarius. And I have Venus in Aquarius and I have Juno in Aquarius and some other stuff. So during full moons, things can get pretty intense. You know, they tell you not to have a surgery during a full moon. You're more likely to bleed. You're a lot more vulnerable during a full moon. Everything is opened up. And so people hemorrhaging and actually having accidents and that sort of stuff. Kids tend to get really hyper during full moons. And this full moon is significant because we're in 2022. Today is the 11th. There's a lot of synchronicities going on today. And I am going to make a video about that. I'm going to talk about synchronicities because there's a lot of misconceptions about that. Everybody thinks if you're seeing them all the time, you're delusional. You're not delusional. You're just becoming more sensitive and more aware of everything. You're becoming more aware of your surroundings, and you're leveling up basically when you start seeing a lot of synchronicities. And it isn't because you're seeing something that isn't there. It's just because you're becoming more aware, you're paying more attention is all. So I'll talk about that in another video. But I'm seeing a lot today. I think being that this full moon is in Aquarius, which we have them about once a month, is a major purging type of energy where everything needs to get cleaned out and everything needs to be opened up. And another thing is, this is the main thing, Saturn is still in Aquarius at about 22 degrees, again, synchronicities. And we're already in the full moon phase, but we are not at an exact 100%. We'll be there at about 7:53 p.m. Mountain Time, 6:53 if you're Pacific, and 8:53 if you are, I think I have the times right, 8:53 if you are Central. And then for the Eastern people, they're going to get this at 9:53, 100%. And then in New Delhi, because they're so far ahead, it'll be about 7 o'clock in the morning for them, Friday. So I think I have that right. Anyway, so about the moon in Aquarius is actually a very perspective like moon. It is not Aquarius itself looks at the big picture. You know, it's ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. And Mercury is your thinking, it's your processing, it's how you communicate. Okay, it's like that foundational wiring system that we have for communicating. And so a lot of people think of Aquarius as the overall connection of the internet and technology. So Aquarius is technology. But it's also that energy that makes us pull away from our emotions to look at the bigger picture. So the moon in Aquarius is a pretty serious moon. Traditionally, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn, of course, is in Aquarius at the moment. And so Saturn has this restrictive, limiting kind of energy. And because of that, it's considered to be one of the malefic planets. But we probably look at it too negatively. It does kind of suck because it makes you go through hard stuff to get to where you really need to go. Saturn is kind of like that really strict parent that makes you work hard, and a little kid isn't going to like when they're being forced to do a lot of things they don't want to do, but if they're not disciplined at all, then they will suffer later. And that is how Saturn works. And right now it is in conjunction with this moon. So there is going to be some very difficult processes that we're all going to have to go through from a collective standpoint, but also internally. And that's going to depend on where it is happening in your chart. In my chart, again, it's happening in my 8th house. So I'm sure that I'm going to be going through lots of personal stuff, physical stuff, dealing with my my condition. That Uranus square Saturn thing has been really rough on me. It's been rough on everybody, though, because it doesn't matter where it falls in your houses. It's still something that we're all going through. But that is starting to loosen up a little bit. But this is kind of reactivating everything that's been going on with that aspect, and also this triple conjunction that we just had that's still kind of there. Mars is soon to go into Gemini, and that's a whole another bag of bugs in that one, so to talk about that later. But anyway, so with full moons, they are pretty intense, no matter what sign they're in, but definitely in Aquarius, because Aquarius, when it really comes down to it, is a pretty serious sign. A lot of times when people have a lot of Aquarius energy, they're kind of looked at in a whack job kind of way, because it's hard to figure them out. But they're way the heck out there. Uranus is way out there. And so they're looking at things from a very far away perspective. And the goal is to meet everyone in the same place together so that we can level it up. But depending on how that's aspected, it can sometimes go a little too far. It can go the wrong way. Sometimes people that have a lot of these placements in their natal chart can be aloof. It's one of the downsides of Aquarius, to the point where they're so far away from that moon-like energy, that Cancerian energy.